Do you know the saying, use it up, wear it out, make do or do without? A lot of us frugal people love this saying, and we love old-fashioned frugal things. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 old-fashioned or old-fashioned-ish household favorites that will help inspire your frugal household. Welcome, I'm Amy, and here at Frugal Over 50, I give you tips and tools for frugal living. Hola a todos! El día de hoy les voy a compartir 10 tips frugales tradicionales. Before we begin, a prelude. I want to give credit here to one of my favorite creators, a gentleman named Andie Wierenga. He's a musician, a composer, a performer, an entertainer. He's a style icon, and he's a practical philosopher. And he says this about old-fashioned things. He says, vintage style, not vintage values. I credit Andie with my love of old-fashioned and old-fashioned-ish things, holding on to what is great and bringing them into my life and welcoming everyone who is here equally. I'm so glad you're here. Let's start with number one. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da! My Kindle Paperwhite. It is 2023. I have had my Kindle Paperwhite since 2013. That's right. This is a second generation Kindle Paperwhite. It is still going strong. And every time I have talked to somebody who owns a Kindle Paperwhite, they love it and they keep it forever. They do still come out with new models and they're fantastic. This one, also fantastic. And because I like old-fashioned and old-fashioned-ish things, I keep this cover on it. It has these beautiful details. Absolutely love it. I have worn out 3 covers. The Kindle Paperwhite, still going. I would call this old-fashioned-ish. It's not truly an antique, but I've had it for 10 years. It's probably gonna go another 10 years. And in the world of tech, that's old-fashioned. Number 2, my beloved coffee mug. I have talked to you so many times about how much I love coffee. And what I haven't shared with you is that about 10 years ago, I stopped being able to drink caffeine because I have blood pressure issues. They are thankfully well managed. I have good medical care and good medication, but I can't drink caffeine. And that really broke my heart because I loved coffee. What I discovered is that I could still make my coffee drinks using decaf coffee, and it was fine. It didn't bother me at all. I was fine with the taste. And I love a good old-fashioned mug. I don't know how old this mug is. I bought it at the Goodwill. It may be just a few years old. It may be 10 or 20 or 30 or even more years old. I have no idea. But I know that it came to me with a story. Somebody else had drunk coffee or tea or hot chocolate out of this mug, and somebody else had loved it, and somebody else had decided, I'm done with it. I'm gonna let it go to another home where it will be loved and cared for and where they can create a story. And that's exactly what I've done with this coffee mug. You know how many times I have talked to you about my favorite coffee recipes, particularly last year around the holidays when you folks were asking what I do for coffee and we were sharing below in the comments. It was so much fun. And together we created a story around this beautiful old-fashioned or old-fashioned-ish coffee mug, and someday I will let it go and send it on to somebody else who will create their own story with it. I love my coffee mug. Number 3, may I introduce you to my hairdryer. Also 10 years old, this seems to be a trend with me, and I in no way would consider any form of hairdryer old-fashioned in a truly antique sense, but a 10-year-old hairdryer, who keeps those around? I will tell you that in the intervening years, I have tried fancier hair dryers, I have tried more foofy hair dryers, I've tried better recommended hair dryers, and I've tried pricier hair dryers. They haven't lasted, and they're not better. And this is the one I go back to, and I use it just about every day. It really makes me chuckle. I hesitate to recommend it to you because I don't know if you can find it, and I don't know if the manufacturing process is the same as it was 10 years ago when I bought it, but it works. I'm not going to trade it for the newest model. I'm not going to try anything more expensive. I'm going to see how much longer I can go with this. I am using it up and wearing it out, but this hairdryer is not ready to give up. It's still going. I love it. Number 4, my towels, my shower curtain, and my blankets are all old-fashioned. And I shared these with you in great detail a couple months ago in a video that you folks really loved called Weird Frugal Hacks. I'll link that up above. You folks went crazy for that video. And in that video, I talk in detail about each one of these items, the towels, the blankets, and the shower curtain. But I will tell you that both the towels and the blankets come from my late father. And to know that he held them and used them makes them mean so much to me. And the shower curtain similarly comes from that era. I feel so cared for and loved when I use these items that came from my late father, and they still work great. They still carry not just the memories and the stories, but the actual comfort and warmth and protection that these items provided to him. And I feel so privileged and honored to be able to still have and still use these. I don't know how long they'll last, of course. Fabric doesn't last forever, especially things like towels, but I hope to be able to still use them for some time to come. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and you'd like to get a touch of frugal living going your way every week, would you give this video a like and consider subscribing if you haven't? And if you'd like to contribute to the growth of the channel, click the link below for Ko-fi, where you can make a one-time contribution or you can become a monthly member. Next up, I have also showed you some of my bedroom furniture, and some of this came to me for free, some of it was thrifted. And some of this kind of qualifies as an antique. There's one item, a nightstand that I showed to you folks before. The company who made it is called Pennsylvania House, and they are not in business anymore. So I think this may qualify as an antique. It didn't cost me antique prices, and I absolutely love it. It is beautiful, and it is shiny, and it holds everything I want, and has more storage than I can use right now. And at the end of this bed, I have a beautiful bench that somebody told me is called a Parsons bench, I think. And this came to me entirely for free, and it really makes my bedroom look elegant. And I don't usually think of elegant and old-fashioned and frugal as being words that go together, but my bedroom furniture, which came to me with very little expense on my part and just the effort of bringing it into my room, really makes me feel elegant and old-fashioned and frugal. Number 6. Wall decor. If you look behind me, you will see that I've set up a new place where I can record videos, and I love it so much. And all of the wall decor that you see on the walls behind me is old-fashioned in the sense that it reflects old-fashioned things like this beautiful barnyard from Chateau de Lalande in France. If you don't follow their channel, I strongly recommend it. It's a beautiful channel called the Chateau Diaries. I also have cards that have been sent to me by loved ones over the years that I have saved because they were beautiful and meaningful, and I've turned those into part of the decor behind me. The art piece right behind me came to me for free from someone I don't even know. It was left in a free box, and I got it. And all of these things had a story before they came to me. They came with a story, and now I am sharing that story with you. And so when I think about old-fashioned, I'm not just thinking about something that's 80 or 100 or 300 years old, but something that comes to us with a story around which we are creating a story that we can then share with others. And that aspect of frugal living is something I think we sometimes overlook in our haste and our need to penny pinch. But the beauty of the history, the beauty of the story behind, literally behind me right now, means that there is love coming your way, not just from me and my words and my face, but from the walls behind me. And that is absolutely priceless. Number 7, in my hallway, I have a mirror that also came to me from a free box. And this probably does come from something that's a little bit closer to the antique realm. This mirror was so beautiful that I wasn't sure what to do with it. It was actually a little bit too heavy to hang on an apartment wall, and I realized that just putting it at the end of a hallway and leaning it against the wall gives my apartment hallway a certain cachet, a certain formality even, and a certain old-fashioned quality, which I really love. This cost me nothing except the effort to bring it into my place. And again, when I am done telling its story, I will pass it on to somebody else who can use it and create their own story with it. I really enjoy this mirror. What do you think? I think it's quite beautiful. Do you have anything in your home that maybe came to you for free that you couldn't quite figure out where to put it, and then you figured out a good spot and all of a sudden it makes that whole space pop, and it helps you really enhance your quality of life at zero cost to you? Tell me about your favorite free frugal household item. Number 8, ceramics. I don't make ceramics. Do any of you make ceramics? Tell me about it below in the comments, but I love them. And I recently moved near a thrift store that had a huge number of ceramic items that I thought this would look beautiful in my kitchen. So I have these beautiful bowls that look like lettuce and tomatoes. I have a little ceramic container that looks like a pepper that I could probably serve salsa in. And then I have all these little fruits and vegetables that I actually use to hold tea and just to look pretty on the counter. A little strawberry pitcher. All of these things make me so happy. They just make me chuckle every time I see them. And they cost almost nothing at the thrift store. And they turn my rather bland apartment kitchen into a sort of bespoke country place. These items make my kitchen cozy and make me really want to spend time in there. You folks know that I love to bake. And when I bake next to my ceramic dishes, I feel so happy. I love walking into my kitchen in the morning and making my coffee and getting my breakfast in the midst of all of this vegetable and fruit ceramic beauty. I genuinely don't have any idea how old any of these are, but I did get them at the thrift store. And once again, they came to me with a story, and I am adding to that story. And one day I will pass them along to somebody else who will make another beautiful story out of them. So here's to ceramic fruit forever. Number 9, my DVD collection of the Aotearoa New Zealand TV show, Outrageous Fortune. Any Outrageous Fortune fans here? I watched on Netflix a long time ago until they took it off, and then I bought a special DVD player, which I no longer have, so that I could watch these DVDs from down under. I loved this show so much. And I love keeping this around because I could still watch it. I have a player that I can use, because the message of this show is that in spite of incredibly dramatic hardships, this family keeps going, and they just keep going, and they just keep going. I love that I have this DVD set that dates back to 2005, I think, maybe a little bit later. The technology has changed totally since that time, but I love it for its cheekiness. I love it because the box has this textured felting on it, which is hilarious. I will never let this go. And I need to watch through the series again. I love watching on DVDs because you get things like director's cuts and actor commentary that you don't get anymore with streaming services. And again, I love the message that however hard things get, you just keep going and you keep making your life the way that you want it to. So here's to Outrageous Fortune, and tell me if you love it too. Number 10, pine cones and critters. A few months ago, I moved halfway across the world to the place where I live now. And one day I was taking a walk and I found pine cones, which didn't exist in the place where I lived for the last 25 years. I picked some up. They are still going strong. I don't know how long pine cones are supposed to last. Y'all tell me down below in the comments. I thought they would sort of dry up and disintegrate, but they're still great. And at the thrift store, my favorite place, I found these little critters that look kind of like pine cones. They're really adorable, and they go together, and I have them sometimes in a group and sometimes scattered around the house. The funny thing is the thrift store ones may actually have been new items that didn't sell, and I'm the first person to give them their story, but I will also pass them along. The pine cones, I'm just gonna keep and see how long they last. I don't know, what do you think? How long will my pine cones last? And I got a bonus for you. The bonus is Goldie. Goldie is turning 14 next month. She's an old-fashioned golden retriever. She loves simple and old-fashioned things. In fact, when I moved here, I brought her towels that she likes to rest on so that she could have something that feels comfortable and smells nice to her. And that's her favorite place to rest, on those towels. They don't match anything in my current home. It doesn't matter. They match Goldie. She's been a wonderful addition to my household over the last 14 years, and I don't know how much longer I have with her, but I hope to make her senior years pleasant and enjoyable and comforting and as healthy as possible so she can enjoy her life as long as she lives. On the website, Tuppenny's Fireplace, author Emma says, old-fashioned living gives you back control. Control of your money, control of your environmental impact, and control of your life. Wherever you are on your frugal living journey, take that next old-fashioned step, remembering Dandy Wellington's beautiful saying, vintage style, not vintage values. And know that you are not alone, and I am so proud of you. Live frugally, change your life, and together we will change the world. I can't wait to see you again soon. Nos vemos pronto. Bye!